John Cena. He's not done with the WWE. When are we going to see the leader of the C Nation again? Plus, big changes against the broadcast team of Impact Wrestling and big changes backstage for WWE NXT. Yeah, more of those. It's all today on today's top story from Sportskeeda Wrestling.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out. Okay, if you're watching, share the link so you don't stink. We got some big John Cena news. A lot to talk about here. Some backstage movers and shakers in WWE NXT and so much more. Your comments on screen. I'm Kev Kellam. That's Jose G down in Florida, and a state where a lot of people misbehave and people get pulled over for doing DUIs in golf carts.
Yeah,
I talked about that.
That's pretty
today.
common over here.
That's common. I didn't know that was
pretty common over here.
Thing. Are you going to vote for the local Gator to become your mayor? I'm saying awful jokes. In Nebraska, if you ask, a state that is flat and probably very cold. Am I wrong, Jeremy?
No, 55 today.
Oh, that's awful. It is -6 here in Chicago.
55. Yeah. That's shorts weather in January.
Yeah, I mistakenly left a crack of my door open. I woke up and it was like 40 degrees inside my apartment.
Listen, it's a nice balmy 69 down here, guys.
Shout out to our regulars, Kim Gray watching, Christopher Ryan Cooper. If you're watching for the first time, get your comments on screen, jump into the conversation, and hit the like button. So much content on our channel, by the way. Vince Russo with us Monday nights after Monday Night Raw. He had plenty to say about a very eventful Monday Night Raw. I would say a thumbs-up edition of Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't say it was the best one, but a lot going on in that show.
It wasn't bad.
No, let's jump into this, though. John Cena, he is making the media rounds for his new HBO Max series, a spinoff of the Suicide Squad character he played, Peacemaker. Looks pretty good. Looks like a strong, violent, fun show.
Thursday.
And it comes out this Thursday.
Looking forward to it.
And I am as well. I liked the Suicide Squad. I thought it was a good beef up for the DCU movies. I thought Cena had maybe the best role he's ever played in a film, too. And so now he gets to run with this character, and he's doing the media rounds, talking to Ellen DeGeneres, so he's going to have to talk about WWE. And he hits some notes here that are interesting. He's not done with the WWE. Far from it, he kind of establishes. But he may miss WrestleMania this year. This would be the first time he's missed WrestleMania because of these kind of outside commitments. But he did have a strong run this past summer, coming back for live events and house shows, and, of course, a big match against Roman Reigns where he lost clean in the middle of the ring. So it makes it seem like he may not be around here. If you're watching, let us know. Where do you want to see John Cena come back? Do you want him to come back in a few weeks at the Royal Rumble? Do you want him at WrestleMania? Or are we going to save it for someone else? It's 2 nights of WrestleMania. John Cena would be a real kick in the ass for this card.
Absolutely, man. I think having a WrestleMania without John Cena, we didn't have him on this year's card for WrestleMania, but I think it's overdue. You can't really just have such an event of that magnitude and not have, one of the greatest performers of all time in John Cena not be at the event. But just like you mentioned a little bit earlier, Kevin, Cena is doing his media rounds. He recently had a nice chat with Ellen DeGeneres and gave an update on his future. And he said, quote, WrestleMania is usually in late March, early April. I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. That's a good conundrum to have because there are a lot of good opportunities coming up, which I would love to take. If all of those things line up, I don't know if I'll be able to make WrestleMania. I will tell everybody watching, I am not done with WWE by a long shot. That's my home. I love it. I was able to go back during the summer for a few months and entertain audiences when they welcomed audiences back to arenas, and I've far from had my last performance. So clearly not done with his in-ring career, but you have to start thinking about how much longer does he have in the tank? He can't keep coming back for these part-time things. He's going to have to walk away at some point. When will that be?
I mean, we got a good window with him this year. He was there for a significant period of time, at least in terms of a short run. They built up to a good match. They had some great promos to get to that match as well. But Cena is Cena. And when he came back at the right time, right when they hit the road. him showing up at Money in the Bank, the first pay-per-view in front of fans, was a big, real boost to WWE during what is usually a down time. The summer is a little bit of a lighter period, but SummerSlam is a show that fans still look forward to. This year's different. You had fans coming back. The coronavirus case kind of valleyed a little bit. People felt safer going out to some arenas across the country, and Cena was a big part of that. Jeremy, what do you think here? How do you utilize him again? Is this going to be another situation, even with the pandemic, where we get a summer of Cena too?
Man, I think it's smokescreen. I think he's going to be at the Rumble this year, and whoever eliminates him sets up WrestleMania feud for this. There is no way John Cena is going to miss 2 WrestleManias in a row.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like you can't. Why would you do that?
He missed last year for the first time since 2002. He says his career's far from over. I believe it. I mean, he's only 44, I think, 44, 45.
And he's had a lot of time off the ring too.
Yeah, so I don't, people going well into their 50s nowadays.
But also doing these movies isn't easy on a guy who's had a neck surgery, who's had a knee injury. There's miles on that body too.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if he's in the Royal Rumble. Whoever eliminates him sets up a WrestleMania match.
We got some watch outs in the chat. Thank you so much for the diehard. We got to get a watch out t-shirt, don't we? We got to get a watch out t-shirt. I think we have to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'll get the graphic design team on that so we can get that printed and sent out.
Steven Chambers wants Cena versus Goldberg. All right, well, I heard someone saying they want Cena versus Priest.
I don't think we've ever seen that, have we? We've never seen Cena versus Goldberg.
No, we have not. And
never
Goldberg,
seen Cena. That would be a good matchup.
Goldberg's only got one more match left, so that would be interesting.
So that means Goldberg will probably be in the Royal Rumble.
I think that's a match Goldberg would want too, right?
Yeah,
that's a match Goldberg would want, I think. I mean,
I don't. Goldberg's going to extend that. He's going to have more than one match, I think, left. I mean, based on that recent interview he had, I think Goldberg's going to either do an extension or a new contract. I'm assuming.
Joe Cook wants to go back to 2006. He wants Cena versus Edge. One of the best ruthless aggression era feuds that WWE have was
maybe Austin Theory.
Be interesting.
Theory tossing Cena over the top rope, taking a selfie.
We got Eric Calavera, who's also an SK contributor in our graphic design team.
Thank you,
one
Eric.
of our comics that you see on Instagram and on Twitter. He says he'll talk to Reed, one of our head guys, to get that taken care of. See?
Love your work, Eric, by the way.
All I gotta do is say a word. Eric's on it, man. See?
Thank you, Eric. Eric, love your work, by the way. You do
we could have a store full of shirts. That's just the beginning.
If we make it, you got to buy it, by the way, too. You know what I mean? So if we do this stuff, we got to, support the cause here. And I'll buy them. Like, that's another thing. Like, I'll buy the watch out shirt. Definitely. Let's definitely check it out here. And people already asking, how can I get a shirt? We haven't made it.
We don't have a story yet. We're talking about the idea. And obviously, if you guys are commenting about it, you guys want them. So sound off in the comments, tweet at us, let us know how bad you want some SK Wrestling merch. And then we'll get a whole new division of merch set up for you guys, so you guys can buy shirts and backpacks and koozies and whatever y'all want.
Oh, I'm all about a koozie. Look at this naked can. This is unacceptable.
Absolutely
unacceptable. If you don't koozie, you lose. Everyone knows that.
We got a Chris regular in the chat saying did get notification. I just checked mine and I did get mine. So you may want to check your settings on the Sportskeeda.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that watch us on Facebook. Go ahead and join us over on YouTube as well. Go ahead and join us on YouTube. We get a little bit more of the algorithm love on YouTube if you join us. We are nearing 25,000 subscribers. Also, if you can't join us live, you still want to continue to listen to the show. I can't have my phone open on a screen, or I want to listen at work or something like that. Podcast. Okay, we are available on Apple. We are available on Spotify. Thank you guys so much for once again keeping us in those big charts. In the top 200, the top 100 in the United States.
You just said algorithm love.
Algorithm love, man.
That's a good album title or band right there.
That's my new synthwave band.
It sounds like a 1970s
that might be
punk rock band.
That might be the name of Kev's next stand-up special.
I already know what the name. I know what the name of it's going to be. I already know
your next stand-up special.
I know what it's going to be. I already know what it's going to be. Yeah, so don't worry. It'll be worth it here. People are already telling us Sportskeeda Wrestling merch is what's best for business. Okay, we'll work on merch. But you gotta buy this stuff. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jody saying SK Wrestling merch would be awesome. All right, cool. We're working on it then. Let's jump into story number 2 here, guys. Story number 2. This man was the voice at one point of WWE NXT, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK, but was a part of one of the many unceremonious cuts that WWE made over the last 2 years to talent on screen and off. He's now back on the wrestling screens again, and he'll be the lead play-by-play announcer for Impact Wrestling. Matt Stryker out, Tom Hennefin in. What do you guys think here? This is a big move. The guy formerly known as Tom Phillips. I always found him to be a great broadcaster.
I tell you what, if you didn't know any better, you would have thought you would have thought he had been in Impact for years now. The job he did coming in brand new, he did a hell of a job on Saturday on Hard to Kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tom is definitely one of those very talented broadcasters that he can do well wherever you throw him. He did very well in NXT. He did absolutely great as the play-by-play guy on Monday Night Raw. And I have no doubt that, I haven't had a chance to watch Hard to Kill. I'm probably going to sit down later tonight after NXT and maybe catch that. But yeah, man, I think this is a great call for Tom. And I can't wait. This is actually going to attract me more to watch Impact.
So he spoke with Renee Paquette on Oral Sessions recently. Also an Oral Sessions interview you want to check out. Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Good interview there. Go check that out on Renee Paquette's podcast there. He spoke with Renee about how the deal came about. He said it really only developed within the last month. I have a lot of friends at Impact who kind of connected me with the powers that be. We had some good conversations, and the schedule was very attractive. I got done doing a 52 a year schedule for about 9 years. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is really cool. Everything I was told about the locker room was like with Scott D'Amore and Josh Matthews. Everything's been accurate and awesome. And when you know a bunch of people showing up and seeing Matt Raywalt and him being like, what the hell are you doing here? It was really cool.
What is he doing in the Impact Zone? Yeah, you have to say it. You have to say it.
Rusev Day. And then he had also talked about the differences between Impact and WWE, and he says you can go from the pressure of being like for a number of different reasons, the way WWE produces shows, but all of a sudden now it's on you. It's largely your show. I was given a lot of faith to go out there and do what I did with D'Lo. It was nerve-wracking because I was, is this what I did? And WWE has certain ways that they like to do, that they like to have things done and things said. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I can say certain things I wasn't able to say. This is really cool.
Completely different style. The way WWE does their broadcasting is very, very specific. I know some people here, if you're a hardcore fan, you've heard about how so-and-so is in your ear giving you all these different things. That's any broadcast, all right? And I can tell you, as someone who's done a handful of different sports things, obviously, Jose, you know this. There's some places where they kind of let you go and do what you want. And you're involved with calling play-by-play.
Yep.
You're doing it in post. You're not live, right? There's a challenge.
I'm doing it in post, but they give me the liberty to ad-lib however I want in Spanish. So I kind of understand where he's coming from, because I've been at shows where they tell me, all right, you need to hit this, this, and this. You can't say this, but you can't say this. So it's always nice when they be like, okay, hit what you're seeing, call it like you're seeing it. Don't worry about it. Say it, no cursing or anything like that, but do you and give us the best that you can. And I think that's what they did with Tom. And from what I'm hearing from Jeremy, he absolutely killed it.
Yeah. And he went on to say, like in WWE, he could refer to Bullet Club for trademark reasons. So I danced around it, said the club. He's like, oh, I can say Bullet Club now? I can say pro wrestling? Just trademark and branding things that WWE likes to do, and that's fine, but there are so many little changes. And yeah, you are correct. Tom did a hell of a job, and it was a hell of a pay-per-view too, from top to bottom. Tremendous job from Impact, and some nice surprises, an invasion, a great main event between Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo. It was great from top to bottom.
I got this question here from Stephen Chambers where we're talking about people doing play-by-play and broadcasting wrestling, the people that host it, the voices of the shows. Jimmy Smith has been inserted in the past few months as the play-by-play Raw announcer. Now, Adnan Virk replaced Phillips, which was kind of just out of nowhere. Adnan Virk had some great experience in sports broadcasting, but it just wasn't a fit for WWE. Nope. It was clear after a few weeks that he was getting lost in the kind of 100 miles a minute that a 3-hour Raw is, because it is. When you're in broadcasting in that position, it's a lot, because there's a ton of stuff that you have to talk about. You have to get in and out of breaks and all these different things. How do I think Jimmy Smith on commentary has been? I think he's perfect. I think I don't think he's a guy that fans will feel is doesn't get it. This is a guy who has fight sports experience, has done things physically. So this isn't just a nobody. The guy comes in with a lot of experience in sports.
He does.
Before
Absolutely.
he got there. And then also is on the air 5 days a week with Sirius XM. This is a guy who's getting his reps in and is doing that around a WWE schedule, which is really, really challenging. And also, I think he likes it. You can tell he really, really enjoys it. I don't know if I'm not saying I don't think Adnan Virk didn't like it. I think he wanted to be a broadcaster. I think Jimmy Smith strikes me as a guy who really enjoys people going at it and appreciates the science of two human bodies clashing at each other in that way. And that translates there from fighting like that.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think you can tell the difference when you have a broadcaster that's dedicated to combat sports, like someone like Jimmy Smith, who not only did play-by-play in the UFC and Bellator, he also had some hosting experience in the past doing Fight Quest back when he used to be broadcasted in the mid-2000s on Discovery Channel. That was an amazing show. He would go all over the place and just study different cultures of combat, and it's great. So he's not only a student of the fight game, but that actually helps him in doing commentary for wrestling or WWE. So I think he's absolutely killing it too. Is he better than Tom Phillips? I don't know if I can make a comparison because they're two totally different styles in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're both equally great, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I think Jimmy's done a tremendous job. I think even from night one, he's done a great job considering
absolutely
the level of difficulty and things like that. And I've not really had any complaints with that Raw announced team. I always like Saxton and Graves together because they're a great heel babyface combo, and Jimmy right in the middle. I think that's been the perfect fit. It's probably been the best two. Let's say three. With SmackDown and NXT, I think it's been the best laid out combination of teams in quite some time. Obviously, Pat McAfee knocking it out of the park with Michael Cole, and of course, Vic Joseph doing a great job with Wade Barrett. I think this has been the best kind of combo and sets that they've done, and then they'll probably just mix it up later this year and screw it all up again.
Always a pessimist.
They like to change it up though every year. They like moving people around a lot.
Jose, get that last comment up on screen if you could.
Absolutely. Let's.
I want to get this one to you here. We've had so much Forbidden Door news this week. Mickie James really stole the conversation on Friday night when it was announced that she is the Impact Knockouts champion, and they emphasized that on WWE SmackDown, which shook me when I heard it. And the door is open apparently, and WWE is going to be collaborating with some other promotions, and Royal Rumble is going to be a way that they kind of roll out some of that. How much that is, we don't know. And guess what? I like what we don't know. What we do know is we're getting a lot of fun names coming back for the Royal Rumble, and not just Mickie James, Bella, a whole bunch of great women's wrestling talent from the past is going to be on this card. But the Forbidden Door thing is the thing that fans are going to speculate the most here. Greg says, Forbidden Door, WWE, Moose versus Roman. Moose is the Impact World Champion at the moment. Roman, the WWE Universal Champion. Maybe ROH Championship match on Impact. That happened. Impact is everywhere. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Yes, Impact is definitely the most... Everybody come in and do our show. We're going to benefit the most from you about it. Speaking about, they're not doing heavy contracts with everyone.
Speaking about everywhere, Jonathan Gresham is everywhere defending that ROH title. He was on Impact defending it. He was on GCW defending it. He's going to be his own pay-per-view this Sunday, Terminus, against I believe Josh Alexander, I think, and that's going to be a hell of a match. That card looks to be pretty good. I actually purchased it on Fight, so I'm looking forward to that on Sunday, early evening on Sunday. But yeah, maybe it's going to be Gresham because he's been everywhere defending that belt. So maybe Jonathan Gresham's the guy that's going to be in the Rumble there.
What do you think here? This is an interesting scenario here because I believe we are going to be able to go to the source sometime this week on one of these names that was brought up there.
Yeah,
Jose. I won't say who it is, but Jose, you're in Florida. We're gonna be talking to somebody who has a lot of say in this. One of those names.
Yes, so. Keep an eye out later this week. I will be down south in South Florida interviewing the current Impact World Champion Moose and former Women's Champion, former Knockouts Champion Dion
Moose.
Apparazzo. So I will probably get some answers firsthand from the champ himself. So we'll see, man. But this has been very interesting. He's been vocal about it on Twitter, called out Roman, knock, knock. Booker T wants to see Moose versus Roman. I think there's a real clamoring for this matchup at some point down the road. And if this Impact Wrestling and WWE Forbidden Door is cracked open, who's not to say Moose shows up at the Royal Rumble? I'm gonna ask him. He's probably gonna deny it. I don't know, but I'm sure gonna ask that question.
It'll be an interesting thing. We will be covering all of the Forbidden Door cracks and creeps leading up to the Royal Rumble. We will have a special Royal Rumble tier special that we have to still have a production meeting about. That's coming up this weekend, and we are doing a big, hopefully we can get it organized, a big Royal Rumble of wrestling trivia the Saturday before Royal Rumble, not the Saturday of. So that'll be pretty sweet, and I'll be down there as well. Let's get into our final topic of the day. This one interesting. A lot of people say that Triple H's NXT is no more. All right, that he is, even though he's on the mend from the serious heart issue he had a few months ago, he's still involved in some things and still helping produce the show. Road Dogg's out of there. Gabe Sapolsky is out of there. William Regal is out of there. Shawn Michaels still deeply involved as one of the executive producers, but now it is much more streamlined its creative team to be under the kind of hand and will of the main creative director of WWE. That would be Bruce Pritchard, who's at the hand of Vince McMahon. This puts the WWE NXT in more line with what's going on with Raw and SmackDown. Big changes there. They've brought in a producer by the name of Russo, no relation to Vince Russo of our team. And this gentleman has been under the WWE creative team since 2011. They have a handful of people that have been writing on different shows for WWE or have been involved, including Dewey Foley, who's been involved with NXT for a few years, accepting more of an updated role here. So you have a lot of people that are still involved with NXT, upgrading the role, or people moving over from Raw and SmackDown's creative teams here. What does this say about the NXT brand? This is more in line with what's been going on, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's just basically matching up exactly of what they're doing on Raw and SmackDown, which is kind of what their goal has been with NXT ever since they've, started making these major changes to the programming. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's really gonna be a noticeable difference. I think it already became a noticeable difference when they went to NXT 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's going to be much different from that. Just more of, and actually we've been talking about this same type of thing with Pritchard overseeing things anyways. So it's been, more of a high level to start on 2.0. Maybe he gets more involved now with it rather than just being at the very highest level. Maybe he does get more involved in a micro sense going forward.
Yeah, just from analyzing the production quality of the show for several months now, it is more in line with what they're doing with the main roster, right?
Yeah.
But I also think because we did have the Black and Gold brand previously to this, which was mainly controlled by Triple H, it was mainly an autonomous operation per the report. And we all knew this. Triple H was running the show down here in Orlando, which really didn't have anything to do with what was going on in the main roster. But just by observing what's been going on with NXT, I almost feel like they're doing this also to be able to blend in some of these storylines from NXT into the main roster. And I think they're using Grayson Waller as a great example with his feud with AJ Styles. He's been showing up on Raw. AJ's been showing up on NXT.
It's not going to be a surprise if NXT people show up in the Rumble. I mean, exactly. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean, like, it'll be a good bump for. I do think we're going to see some NXT names.
Absolutely.
Do we get a new title tonight?
Ooh,
a new look for the championship.
I think they should revamp those titles, but I don't think it's going to happen tonight.
Who knows? Yeah. Braun Breaker winning that title off Tommaso Ciampa, kicking the old NXT logo as he made his entrance. Great match, by the way. Really, really good match. And I mean, it's just another example of how special Braun Breaker is. I know people are just down on NXT in some ways about how different it is from the old one, and they like the old one, and why did you have to change it? It didn't win this ratings war with AEW. They needed to do something different with it. I'm not saying I'm in love with it, but I like the risk You know, you can say there's a lot of things they do on NXT that are a risk that they wouldn't take on Raw and SmackDown. So I kind of almost enjoy them walking more of a finer line in terms of what they can try creatively. And you're doing it with new people too. You're doing this with a lot of new talent. It is worth noting, a lot of the talent that's going to be coming up here in the next year or two are not traditional wrestling talent. So, but that doesn't mean they can't become interesting talent. Braun Breaker is an example of that. Other people they've gotten are examples of that as well.
What do you think about his bold claim? What do you think about his bold claim that he feels that if the things are going the way they're going right now, he could be WWE champion by June? That's what he said.
Yeah.
Those are his
crazy.
words.
That is, Braun, you're getting ahead of yourself there, buddy.
You know what though? I don't disagree. How can you not? But look at it.
If the Braun Breaker train that continues to break things down, it breaks down even more walls. If it goes into St. Louis, and that momentum leads to him winning the Royal Rumble, that is crazy.
Speaking of Royal Rumble, hey, how about this? Some Fightful Select news earlier. They have this is Bet Online has released the Royal Rumble betting odds. Braun Breaker right now 50-1.
Okay,
a lot of people ahead of him. Big E.
Braun Breaker's 51.
50-1. Yeah.
Wow.
Big E is 7-2. Brock Lesnar's 4-1. Those are your two favorites.
but the lead is Braun.
No, Braun's 50-1.
He's the farthest away. I'm sorry.
No, he's not the farthest away. He's ahead of Cesaro, Ciampa, Apollo Crews, Happy Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Nakamura, Ricochet, Johnny Knoxville 100-1. Vince McMahon 250-1 is the longest odds. Montez Ford 100-1, man. It could be a dark horse if they really want to push him to the moon. But Austin Theory 25-1, I thought is kind of interesting. He is Austin Theory is nearer the top 10 for best odds.
Want to get this in here as we just covered odds and different things going on, and so much of this Forbidden Store stuff swinging in every different direction. Not just, hey, coming to WWE. Impact is doing this again now. They had an invasion angle. You mentioned it, the Hard to Kill with Ring of Honor. New Japan, they're continuing their collaboration with New Japan because they're going to be on Access TV. Impact is owned by Access Television. What are they going to be the lead-in for? They're going to be the lead-in for the best of New Japan Pro Wrestling back on TV in the United States again. So those collaborations continue to play here. Ring of Honor shutting down, rebooting the promotion in April, the week of WrestleMania. They are saying they will do a Supercard of Honor. This was announced yesterday. We mentioned different things that their talent is doing. Jonathan Gresham is still the ROH World Champion. No one's under contract, but what is this going to be? Are they going to become a super indie? Jay Feliciano, a man who knows a thing or two about the wrestling business behind the scene, a man who has seen Roman Reigns' hair wet before it goes through the curtain. All right? He knows what's up. Jay goes, ROH will benefit the most from this Forbidden Door swinging wide open. A lot of people ask us about this Forbidden Door. Before we sign off here, give me some crazy Forbidden Door stuff you think might happen, boys. Before we sign off here, give me one or two before we close the show. We're going to be talking about this every day for 2 weeks.
I say Chris Jericho will show at the Royal Rumble, and I say Moose will show at the Royal Rumble.
What are you talking about crazy, though? Those are like actually things that I think would happen.
I mean, if we're going to go crazy.
Young Bucks.
Will Ospreay.
Young Bucks
shows up at the Royal Rumble and has a face-off with Ricochet.
Would be nuts. If you
Ricochet
told me,
and Will Ospreay at the Royal Rumble.
Speaking of Forbidden Doors, there's not many Forbidden Door, any hardly, except and Strowman really doesn't. Strowman 33-1, so he's kind of up there.
They can bring him back at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and let's talk about the women. Bayley is the second favorite at 9-2, by the way. Bianca Belair leading at 4-1. Bayley at 9-2, followed by Rhea Ripley at 8-1. Poor Summer Rae. Summer Rae is 250-1. So is Stephanie McMahon.
Those odds will change the closer we get to the Rumble too. So
Yeah, but I find it really interesting that Bayley has got the second best odds to win the Royal
Still
Rumble.
a few weeks out. Hopefully, she's ahead of schedule, man, and she's ready to come back. SmackDown could definitely use some more female talent.
But would there be anything crazier though when you're talking about the Forbidden Door? Would there be anything crazier than the Young Bucks coming over?
no, that's a great crazy one. Let us know what your crazy Forbidden Door
That's
Royal Rumble
ridiculous.
predictions are. If you're in the comments, let us know. Hit us up at SK Wrestling _. Got to get that underscore in there as well. You can also check us out on Snapchat, Instagram, and of course our Facebook with 2.9 million strong. All right, thank you guys so much. We are on all the different channels. Jose, you will be live. I will be live covering for you on the debrief tomorrow.
You
That'll
will
be
be live,
interesting.
but you won't be.
But you'll be busy on assignment there. Jeremy, you're busy relaunching your show as well.
Yeah, we haven't figured out what we're going to do quite yet, but Lost in the Mid-Card, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Head to the YouTube and subscribe to Lost in the Mid-Card. Also on any podcasting app as well. No timetable of when we're going to return yet, though, but I think we're getting pretty close.
Jose, we're busy with the Weekends of Wrestling Royal Rumble week, aren't we?
Yeah, well, we come back Royal Rumble week. This will be season 6. It's going to be premiering. Rico and myself are doing some a little bit of upgrades here and there to the show. So make sure you follow us on YouTube, Twitch, and on Facebook at Weekends of Wrestling. And also give me a follow on my Twitter and on Instagram at Jose G Official.
People just being crazy, saying MJF's going to walk out in the Rumble. What are you doing? Be the ultimate heel move.
Maybe he's talking about WWE a lot lately, so.
Yeah, he's just stirring the pot. It's a wooden spoon in an empty pot, as far as I can tell.
CM Punk making an appearance.
Yeah.
Punk will be busy. He's inducting his old wrestling mate, Dave Prazak, in the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Dave Prazak, by the way. A true pillar of the independent wrestling business. A guy I've met more than once. Did a lot of great things for me and friends of mine when I was in college doing a wrestling show on a college radio station. And he understood that podcasting was going to become a thing. And he connected us with a lot of great talent. I'm very, very happy for him. More than deserving. A lot of big people in wrestling. Dave Prazak played a hand in their development, and also the development of women's wrestling. He ran Shimmer Women's Athletes, one of the best women's-oriented wrestling promotions that has ever existed. Very well deserving. So flowers to Dave Prazak for sure. We're going to move ahead here. We're going to be busy, and we're going to be with you every weekday right around 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. You get these episodes. You get them as well on demand on our video channels on Facebook, on YouTube, in your ears on the podcast. And remember, when watching wrestling, do the most important thing. You watch out for merchandise, and you also do what, boys?
You have to enjoy it. Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to them.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!